Well. Birdman.
Hey, Wheels, what's going on?
We meet again. Who is this guy?
I don't know. It's
Turns out it's another guest host.
Yeah.
Welcome Quigley to the show.
Hey,
Wiggs, how you doing?
I'm good. Birdman, Wheels, thank you for having me on, buddy.
The pleasure's all ours. Our last host was kind of a little bit of a dipshit.
Yeah.
So if you can just try to be better than him,
Okay.
We're going to have fun tonight.
Very low bar, so you'll be fine.
Yeah, he set the bar very, very low.
Are we allowed to talk about the old, the last guest?
It was Dano.
Dano.
And he looked like Bob Saget and basically wasted everybody's time. So
Yeah.
So it wasn't very entertaining.
No.
he's kind of the worst.
Yeah.
Welcome to RankEmz. Here we are again. Episode, what are we on? 18.
18.
Yeah.
Still at this thing after all this time.
2022, it's crazy.
So here we are. Everybody knows the drill. This is a little bit of a curveball. First in-person guest host,
Yeah.
Quigs. It's all been virtual. Appreciate you coming over and drinking my beer.
And I got the grand tour of the new hacienda.
Yeah. So
Mi
here we are.
casa, su casa.
That's what you think.
You did tell me you had a guest room.
Yeah, we do. I just
See, the problem is when people invite me over for dinner and shit, and parties and stuff, I invite myself a little bit. I actually show up, you know?
did.
Most people don't really put out invitations saying they'll never come. But I actually show up and eat a lot of food, you know, just whatever.
You're trying to hijack our podcast right now? Too?
No.
All right, so everybody knows the drill. Here we are on RankEmz. In this particular episode, Birdman's going to throw out a topic we don't know. Quigs and I don't know.
Yep.
I have to think it has something to do with Philadelphia sports, given the throwback Lindros. Love that jersey.
Yeah, man.
Did I get you that?
No.
Oh, yeah.
No, I've had this one for a while. You
I
got
got
me
you
a
the,
Joffrey Lupul.
Jeffrey Lupul. That's right. So, and actually, I think it came courtesy of Quigs. He was the guy fall off the back of the truck guy. I think you had all those those bogus jerseys that one year.
My dad did. Can I throw something in or no?
I mean, you already started, so.
I had 70 plus. Who was the number 32 or 33? Boucher was the goalie of the year. In 2010, the Flyers go to the finals. The first goalie, Michael something, got knocked out.
Leighton.
He gets knocked out. Boucher comes in. I had 70 jerseys I found in my dad's basement. T-shirts. All Boucher. Me and my buddy sold them.
He just had him sitting down there.
He's sitting down. He sold all kinds of crap. Everything from sporting goods to fake Rolexes, all kinds of junk, you know.
Only in Philly.
Yeah,
Only in Philly.
I thought it was writing on the wall. I thought it was a date with
Destiny.
Yeah, exactly.
I met her once at the cheerleaders downtown. All right, so everybody
That's a good one.
Everybody knows the drill.
Yeah.
Birdman's going to pick a random topic. We're going to go back and forth. I have a feeling it's sports related, so without further ado, I do want to mention one other thing beer-wise.
Yeah.
But we'll turn it over to you here in a second, Birdman. I got the Delco Lager here. You ever had these?
I have not. I've been gone too long.
2SB, Aston, Pennsylvania. Reason I bring this up, people love them. Shout out to 2SP. We also happen to have Delco's finest, the GOAT.
Yeah.
The greatest of all time from Delco. Arguably the biggest star that Delco's ever seen.
Nah, we got.
Yeah, you're up. You're in the top 10. So anyway, wanted to throw the Delco Lager. I, as always, am drinking the Sour Monkeys. Hit us, Birdman. What do you got?
Yeah, well, welcome, Quigs. We're glad to have you here on RankEmz. I think we're going to have a good time here today. So, like Wheels kind of mentioned, this is the way it works, right? I'll give both of you guys a list of items, and it'll be your jobs to rank them for us. Today we have 4. We start at the bottom, we work our way up to the top. So, since we do have Quigs as our guest today, the episode is going to be a little bit of a homer episode, and our focus will be on Philly sports, and but a little bit of a twist. And it's funny that you mentioned that 2010 Flyers teams. That's one of the items we're going to be ranking today. So, what I would like to rank are the most fun Philadelphia sports seasons that you had as a fan that did not include a championship.
This is an easy one. I already know number one.
I picked one per major Philly sports team. But yeah, like I said, none of these include a championship season. So number 1, and you guys might want to take some notes, and I'll go into a little bit more detail after this, but the 2000 to 2001 Philadelphia 76ers, this is when the Sixers fell in the finals against the Lakers. Number 2 is the 2004 Philadelphia Eagles. The Eagles patched Super Bowl 39 with T.O. Number 3 is the 2007 Philadelphia Phillies, where the Phillies came back to beat the Mets for the NL East with that epic Mets meltdown.
We were there.
Yeah.
What year was that?
2007.
2007.
We were there.
Okay,
then,
that was great.
2009, 2010 Philadelphia Flyers. Flyers come back 0-3 to beat the Bruins in the second round of the playoffs. End up losing to the Blackhawks in 6 in the
Wait,
finals.
2010 Flyers.
Yep.
Not 2010, was it?
2009, 2010.
Okay.
Yeah, they were down 3-0 in that in
Okay.
that series. 3-0 in the game.
Yep,
I
in Game
think.
7. Yep.
Yeah.
So
Oh, man.
those are the 4, and like I said, I want to rank these as not what was the best, but what was the most fun for you, right, as a fan. So I know you're kind of a Philadelphia sports fan. That's the lens we want to take. So while you guys are kind of thinking about that, I'm going to just give a little bit more background on each of these seasons. So I'll start with the 76ers, 2000, 2001. This was the best season for Allen Iverson as a 76er. AI started for the Eastern Conference in the All-Star game and won MVP of that game as well. The 76ers finished first in the Eastern Conference with a record of 56-26. AI won the NBA scoring title and regular season MVP. In addition to AI's awards, Coach Larry Brown won NBA Coach of the Year. Center Dikembe Mutombo won NBA Defensive Player of the Year. And Aaron McKie won the NBA Sixth Man of the Year.
Sixth Man of the Year.
Yep. The team was definitely stacked and packed. The Sixers went on to beat the Indiana Pacers 3-1 in the first round, beat the Toronto Raptors 4-3 in the conference semis, beat the Milwaukee Bucks 4-3 in the Eastern Conference Finals, and then ended up losing to the Lakers 1-4 in the NBA Finals. Second one is the 2004 Philadelphia Eagles. So the 2004 season started out by acquiring defensive end Javon Curse, linebacker Jeremiah Trotter, and flashy wide receiver Terrell Owens. The season started out 13-1 going into the final 2 weeks of the season. Andy Reid was actually able to rest his starters, and they ended up the season 13-3. T.O. went down in Week 15 versus the Cowboys. With that ankle injury, it was kind of widely known.
Horse collar.
Yep.
Horse collar time.
It was widely known that he was going to be able to return for a Super Bowl appearance, which he did. The Eagles finished first in the NFC with a first-round bye. They beat the Vikings 27-14 in the divisional round. The second-place Falcons 27-10 in the NFC Championship. And then, as we all know, T.O. returned for Super Bowl 39, but the Eagles ended up losing 21-24 against that dipshit Tom Brady and the Patriots.
I think T.O. had like 151 yards in that game or something.
It was definitely
He had 10 catches, like 121 yards or something ridiculous.
Yeah.
crazy. Number 3 is the 2007 Phillies. So the 2007 Phillies was not all good. On July 15th of that year, they actually lost their 10,000th game to the St. Louis Cardinals. They lost their 10,000th game, which was a game against the St. Louis Cardinals. They became the first team to achieve that shitty milestone. But it was not all doom and gloom. The Charlie Manuel-led Phillies had some pretty good talent on the roster. You had Cole Hamels, Brett Myers, Shane Victorino, Ryan Howard, Chase Utley, Jimmy Rollins, and others. This was definitely the precursor to the 2008 World Series run. But what really made this season special was the epic comeback at the end of the season to win the NL East and make the playoffs. The NL East leading Mets held a 7-game division lead on September 12th. The Mets ended the season with a historic collapse by losing 12 of their last 17 games, missing the postseason. The Phillies won the final game of the 2007 regular season.
Against the Nationals. I remember I was listening to the game on the radio.
We were there, me and Brittany.
And what's the name got it saved? It was a ground ball shot up the middle. I think Jimmy Rollins dove, got it, flipped it, and they completed the double play to end the game.
It was
not too much detail.
It was one of the,
I was listening on the game. Listening on the radio.
You picked a great subject.
Yeah.
Tonight, Birdman. So.
And then the last one is the 2009-2010 Philadelphia Flyers. They started the season by changing goaltenders and bringing in Ray Emery. And
that's right.
Bringing back Brian Boucher. They also traded for Chris Pronger in the offseason. The early season started pretty rough. Coach John Stevens ended up losing his job. The Flyers ended up bringing in Peter Laviolette. And then the Flyers' playoff hopes actually came down to Game 82, which was against the New York Rangers. The game ended up in a shootout, which the Flyers won and clinched the 7th seed in the Eastern Conference. In the quarterfinals round, they beat the Devils 4-1, beat the Bruins 4-3 in the semis by coming back from an 0-3 deficit, and then an 0-3 goal deficit in Game 7. They then went on to beat the Montreal Canadiens 4-1 in the Eastern Conference Finals. And then faced the Chicago Blackhawks in the Stanley Cup Finals, which they would lose in a Game 6 overtime loss.
That one hurt. I remember that.
I was at that game. It was the worst.
Thanks for blowing it.
Yeah, so that's the story on the seasons. I want to see how you guys rank them. Wheels, why don't we kind of start off with you? Like I said, the lens, the way I see this going is, what was most fun as a fan?
This was, again, a hard one. You're really good at doing that. Also a great one. I'll give you that.
So I can't pick my own seasons. I got to rank these.
You got to rank these 4.
Okay.
Okay, I'll go ahead and kick it off. 2010 Flyers, number 4.
Okay.
Although I loved it, it came out of nowhere. And I wasn't following the Flyers. Like, it wasn't like I was invested. I was there. You know what I mean? Like, it just kind of happened. Now, in terms of like a single game that was kind of awesome, I know exactly where I was. I was in Charleston, South Carolina, at a friend's wedding, at an outdoor bar. We were down 3-0. The game was on, and I was like, F this, right? Like, we came all the way back just to cut. And then, out of nowhere, we went 4-3, right? We win the series 4-3 and the game 4-3, I think. Was it overtime?
I think the game was 5-4. I'd have to go back and check, but yeah.
Okay, either way, like, I wasn't invested in that season, really, which is why I did. That's why it's number 4. These are 4 great ones, don't get me wrong. But I had to put that one at number 4 only because when you say most fun season, I wasn't exactly like jacked into a Flyers wild card, you know, like winning on the last game of the season to beat the Rangers. Like it was just another year for the Flyers. And I can't name too many Flyers from that era. I'm more of a, Lindros era.
This was the
Hoo-ha, John LeClair,
Jeff
Moore,
Jeff Carter, and
yeah, that's what I mean. He went on to win one of the Kings.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, what was his name? But yeah, so in terms of great stories, love it. In terms of like fun season, the whole thing, it's got to be number 4 in this list for me.
Yeah, I respect it.
4th on the list for me is the Philly season. As much as I love the seeing the Mets fold, the thing about the Mets for me is I hate the New York
Mets tits.
I hate the Yankees more, but the Mets actually. I love the Bob Davey. He was the old broadcaster. Actually, listening to his last game ever on the radio. He died a year later. He was the old Mets broadcaster. And the '86. If you've ever watched the 30 for 30,
oh yeah,
it's the best 30 for 30. It's just classic. It's a 4-part series.
Who puts the ground ball for the '86 Mets?
Bill Buckner.
Bill Buckner, yeah.
Yeah, but that game was tied at that point. It was actually the guy that came in and whatever. I'm getting a little bit off track.
Yeah, let's bring it back to Philadelphia here.
So anyway, the Phillies, the way they ended the game, you guys were at that game to 07. They beat the Washington Nationals last game of the year. They had to win the game, get into the playoffs. But I went to a Colorado. They played Colorado and ended up losing to them. I think 3-0.
Yeah.
Or 2 games.
Yeah, we got swept, I think.
Yeah, they lost 0-3.
The one game I went to was with Stoney, and this guy's like 5'6" and 250,
Stoney was
real thick, and it was a hot day for some reason, and we paid ridiculous amount, sat upstairs. Phillies had like 3 hits. It just sucked. So it was the least amount of fun out of all the rankings you gave me. So I ranked them at my number 4. But I did it. It was a fun season, and it didn't. It absolutely didn't.
None of these are bad.
It didn't end in any playoff victory at all. They got none. But it was a precursor. Jimmy Rollins came out the following offseason and said, we're the team to beat. And he just raised the bar for the rest of the team.
Wasn't he MVP? Was he MVP?
07, yep, MVP.
Yeah.
Yep.
And Howard might have been MVP in 08.
Well, he wasn't.
No?
I'm not sure on that one.
No.
Yeah, okay.
06 he was.
No.
It was his
he had a monster
year and MVP at the same year. I don't know. Either way.
All right, whatever.
All right, here we go.
They won a World Series in 08.
Yeah, that was kind of cool. That was kind of a neat thing.
Yeah.
All right, so this is getting really hard, and I've changed this list like 4 or 5 times now. But I got to stick to my guns at some point, right? You only got so much time.
Let's hear that number 3.
No, number 3, 2004 Eagles.
Okay.
Wow.
Do you want to know why?
Yeah, I want to know why.
I'll tell you why. Because they were supposed to win the Super Bowl that year. It was like 4 NFC championships in a row, right? One disappointment after the next. The last game at the Vet, we lose to the friggin' Buccaneers, right? 03 was that sad Carolina Panthers, whatever, NFC championship. And 04 was our year. 04 was our year. Then T.O. gets hurt, and we had that game. what did we lose? 24-21.
Yeah, 24-21.
Yeah.
And I had everybody over my freaking parents' house. I spent all kinds of money on the crab shit and pretzels and whatever. Everybody's gorging themselves. I basically had to kick all my friends out of the house. I was so pissed off.
You know what I remember about that season is the first preseason game.
You were there.
What I'm talking. I was so juiced for that
tossed out of the
season.
house.
But that first preseason game, we were over Shoe Cart's house, and I think it was the first offensive play of the Eagles, touchdown bomb to T.O. That's how the Eagles started the preseason.
Oh, yeah, and they also started the regular season with a touchdown
And they
bomb
beat the
to
shit
T.O.
out of Dallas on a Monday night. Remember when McNabb was running all around, and then he hit Freddie Mitchell down the field.
The slot machine.
And Freddie Mitchell was pointing at his hands. He actually could catch the football with all the stiffs we've had recently.
I loved that 2004 season. Like I said, I'm not ranking this time, but that 04 season for me was a lot of fun. A lot of ups, a lot of downs, but it was a disappointment at the end.
Oh, so close. So close.
Yeah, the reason I didn't like it is because we had everything but the fucking period on the end of the sentence.
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah, we should have won the championship.
They were the best team in football that year.
Yeah.
And somehow McNabb's barfing in the fucking end zone.
Yeah, should have won the championship.
Allegedly.
You go back and look at that footage. He's barfing, dude.
Yeah, but I think it's irrelevant, but that's they still, if you puke, whatever you do.
Yeah, well, you throw a touchdown on the next play, then
Right,
we're good.
exactly. He threw an interception in that period to the linebacker, which sort of failed.
Oh, Vrabel.
Yeah, or no, the other dude who's on the TV now.
Brewski.
Teddy Bruschi.
What a great jock name. Teddy Bruschi.
Yeah.
He was definitely fucking popular in college.
Yeah, Delco Bruschi.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All right, any guesses real quick on Freddie Mitchell's career totals for receptions and yards?
I'm going to say
career.
60. I'm not even looking. 66 receptions and 7 touchdowns.
That's like a good season for most people.
And I don't know.
90 receptions, 1,263 yards, and 5 touchdowns, and we're still talking about him for some reason.
That's
irrelevant.
That's just like a good wide receiver season, and that's his career.
That's a backup. That's a number 2.
Yeah.
He stiffed somebody on it.
Yeah, you know what?
He had his car remade. He had one of them collectibles.
4th and 26, though.
Yeah.
You know
4th and 26. I was at that game. Met this chick. She was trying to give me his number. I was the only one standing.
Wait a minute. What was crazier that day? The fact that he got 4th and 26 or the fact that you got a girl's number?
Yeah, no, I forgot it, though. I thought she was the one, too. It was destiny.
Well.
But she's still waiting for me to call her.
All right, Quiggs, you're up. What's your number 3?
The slot machine.
2006. 2001 the Sixers.
Okay.
Because it was fun. But they had, they weren't really, you said in the beginning of the show they were stacked. They weren't really stacked. Larry Brown's way of building the team was defensive. George Lynch.
Yeah,
Time Hill.
He's not.
They went out and they traded Theo Rounds, which everybody thought
Theo Ratliff.
Not Theo Ratliff, for Dikembe. Defensive move.
And we got rid of Kukoc.
Aaron McKee was a great defensive player. But George Lynch, McKee, and who was the big white dude from
Eric Snow? Gugalata.
No. Who's the guy the guy that was sitting down in Florida? He was a real good shooter. He draw Shaq away from the basket.
Yeah.
And
Ugly looking motherfucker.
He only played like a
McCullough.
No, not Tom McCullough. No, it was I can't think of his name. He was hurt in the series. I always said if McKee would have hit that 3 at the end of game 2, they would have had the series would have went 7. And if you roll the ball out there in game 7, I think Iverson maybe would have brought it home. I know they had to win game 2. And they end up getting.
We were up too in that game. I remember.
Yeah, they went to overtime.
Yeah.
Remember where we watched game 1?
Ryan Stingle's house?
No,
I watched it.
It was that one girl from high school's house. It was like a 19-inch tube TV.
Oh, Chrissy. Yeah. That's right.
It was brutal.
Yeah.
Brutal.
It was like a built-in fucking VCR that had like a Days of Thunder half sticking out of it on VHS.
12 of us, like all huddled around, like
Huddled around.
You
Little
remember
19.
that stuff? I watched the '83 final, Game 4, and it was in LA, of course, in the backyard with 4 dudes, and we were going, and we drank 4 cases of beer. These guys were all big guys, and I didn't drink it nowhere near. They were sucking down. And it was a small TV. It was crazy.
I'm pretty sure my dad was giving it to my mom, and I was born shortly thereafter.
That was 1983.
He was Roger and my mom.
Yeah, that was a great year. But the Sixers should have won. I mean, they should have at least got.
This is a good episode.
I hate how Kobe sort of showed up.
Kobe was 24,000 years after 1983, though.
No, I'm talking about 2001. Getting back on topic.
yeah.
That's unlike me, but whatever. What I'm saying is, the 2001. I just thought they could have gave them a better series.
Yeah.
Think of how many ugly motherfuckers were on that team. Remember how ugly Tyrone
Tyrone Hill.
He
actually
was so ugly.
They used to gamble. He owed who's the big dude, Charles Oakley, a ton of money. And when they were up in Toronto, that was during that season. He supposedly Oakley threw a ball off a T-Time Hill's head. They used to gamble. So they used to be on one of the same team. I don't know exactly.
Throwing a ball at Tyrone Hill's head probably made it look better, though. That's a head only a mother could love. You know who's the ugliest basketball player of all time?
All right.
Sam Cassell. Oh, God.
Oh, a little alien man.
He doesn't even look like he doesn't look like a human being.
He was phenomenal, man. Back-to-back championships with the Rockets.
Goddamn Martian. All right.
Number 2.
What are we on? 2?
Yeah.
3?
No, 2.
I don't want to date him, baby.
This is getting hard, man. I might flip-flop again. I'm not going to do it, though. I'm staying true to myself. Number 2, 2007 Phillies.
Yeah.
It almost crept to number 1. And I'll tell you a couple reasons why. You want to know why, Birdman?
Let's hear it. I got one reason that you and I share.
Yeah, so first of all, we did the Sunday ticket package that year, right? Me and Pop over here.
Yeah.
It was just me and him on Sundays.
That's great.
We would alternate who was driving and who was drinking.
Yeah, so every other game. So yeah, he would get a drinking game, I would drive.
I landed this last game of the season not driving. It was great.
Yeah.
But what I did do was eat a bunch of burger fat because we had a little grill.
Yeah.
And we would grill the burgers on the ground because we didn't have like a truck or whatever. And a bunch of like grease, whatever, like formed like a puck on the ground.
Yeah.
And he bet me I couldn't eat it.
Yeah.
For 2 stadium beers.
2 stadium
You know what I
beers.
did? Right down the hatch.
Yeah.
Gravel and all. I ate it all.
Yeah.
How'd it come out? Either this way?
I don't remember. I had the stadium beers. But no, that was the beginning of what should have been a dynasty, which was not a dynasty.
Who, the Phillies?
The Phillies. I wouldn't.
Oh,
You
my
can't call it a
God.
dynasty.
09. It's all I wanted. There's one more championship out of that group.
And against the
the
Yankees.
Yankees.
Against the Yankees, that would have been
Yeah, but you know what? 102-60 or whatever we were in 2010, and we lose that last game. Roy Halladay's last game was a Philly, I think, 1-0 to the Cardinals. Either way,
I was at that game.
That should have been a dynasty, right?
Yeah.
But this was the beginning of all coming together, right? Chase Utley is still
No, you're right.
arguably my favorite Philadelphia's.
But if you go back and you keep it on context, on topic, those seasons didn't happen yet in Birdman's rankings. You know what I mean?
No. And that's why
You're 100% correct, though.
That's why I'm saying they're number 2, right? Otherwise,
If you go down each season, 07.
I'm right here.
07. 08, they win the World Series. 07, they get there. 08, they win it. 09, they get back to the World Series. They win Game 1, 7-1 with Cliff Lee in the mound. I was watching the game. I said, we're going to win another World Series. We end up going to Game 2.
4-2 we lost, right?
And then 09, we get to the against
2010.
2010, I think San Francisco or was
LCS. Yep.
NLCS Game 6. We lose. Pat Burrell wins the World Series with them.
I got punched in the face that game.
Really?
Yeah.
He probably deserved it though. In
That
that guy's defense.
At some bar, some guy was, messing with our group. I said something to him. He's like, I'm going to punch you in the face. I was like, really? I was like, I'll give you 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, punched in the face. Whoops.
Did anybody? I wasn't there. Did anybody back you up or not?
A guy came out, grabbed that guy's head, and put it into his knee. And I thought it was our buddy Smitty, who's going to do this episode for us. And no, Smitty was just in the bathroom. We all went outside. I was like, hey, man, thanks. He goes, for what? It was a random dude. Like, yeah.
That's great.
Just a good Samaritan.
It's a great story.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. He only got to 3.
Yeah.
He's not giving you 5, 4, 3.
Yeah.
Pow.
Yeah, whatever.
But you're right. They should have been a dynasty, and it sort of
should have been.
It spiraled out of control, and it slowly went downhill, and they never did anything.
Yeah, 102-60, and Ryan Howard blows his Achilles up on the last play of the gut. Yeah, fuck. So yeah, that was a fun year because one of the stipulations was fun.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Me and Birdman were going to all these games, getting polluted, and eating Schmitters. They had Schmitters.
Schmitter was great.
Oh man,
I used to walk all the way around down from.
I remember it was one game.
It
It was like 102 degrees, and this dude's sweating. He's sweating in his Schmitter. And I'm just like, how are you doing this?
Oh, it was great with extra sweat.
Yeah, it was delicious.
I would tell the chef sweat onto it.
But that season in particular, so it was that Sunday ticket package for me, and then the fact that final game, we were there to clinch the NL East. We were in the parking lot, beeping the horns as we're trying to leave, screaming, fuck the Mets, fuck the Mets.
Yeah.
Everyone had WIP on. People were going nuts. It was just like, for a non-championship season, that parking lot after that game 162 was awesome.
Yep.
So I would have had it ranked pretty high.
Remember we went in there and the Marlins, I think, had the Mets were down 7-0 in the first inning or something like that.
Yeah.
Remember it was like a really crooked score.
Oh, yeah,
It was already wrapped up. Like it was like a man. I ate that burger fat right off the parking lot.
It's
But
great.
they had to win to avoid the playoff game.
No, they had to win. The Mets had to lose. Like, It was
Right.
like, yeah.
Yeah.
So everything came together that day.
Right.
Perfect.
That was
I remember they were up 7-0 like the first or
in the
second
first inning. And I was like,
That was
I
great.
hate the
I was
Marlins, but
laughing.
not as much as
Yeah.
All right, what do you got at 2?
Number 2, Quigs.
I had it written down. It's either the
Just make something up, as we always do.
no, it's the Flyers.
Okay.
Like that 2010 season came out of nowhere. I went to Game 1 against Montreal. Nobody thought they were going to win. I got tickets a couple games, and I actually had the Flyers at 18-1 for about $150.
Here we go.
And
Now
of
we're
course
talking.
to win it all, and it was a great time. I went to a bunch of games, cheap too, because
18-1 to win the whole thing, like you
Yeah.
bet on the early in the season.
I bet it probably in March or
That's pretty good odds.
yeah,
I'll take
yeah.
that.
They were of course, but you don't cash the ticket, so it's pretty good odds. But I didn't win. I did make money on every series. I had a lot of fun. What year was 2010? I'm still drinking, so.
You're not drinking today.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna have your the Delco greatest of all time.
I ended up going to game 5 at home. Yeah, I went. Stoney took me to a Flyers game, and they won the game. Yeah, I just remember Billy Lano. He's like line 3 or 4, and Buffalo gave him $27 million for and we weren't matching it. I mean, it was one of those years you thought it was it meant to be, and then I found all them Boucher jerseys or T-shirts they were, and it was a lot of fun.
Flyers. If I was ranking these, Flyers were going to be my number 1. Me and my buddy Pangs had a 11-game package. So we went to 11 regular season games, but then with that, we got every other home playoff game. So I was at that Game 82 Rangers game to get into the playoffs. And then we went to a bunch of the games during the actual playoffs themselves. And then I was at Game 6 when they lost against the Blackhawks. So I got to see the Stanley Cup live and in person. It was just wrong fucking team, but.
So I take credit for this phrase, the second period.
Oh, yeah.
That's great.
We would just drink beers we never sat in our seats during the second period.
Yeah.
We
That's
the second
great.
period. So you saw 0 second periods that year, right?
They had
Pretty
a
much.
couple good bars too at that
Yeah.
Either way, you're just drinking
Wells
beers with your
Fargo.
boys.
Yeah.
I remember there was one time I was at a Flyers Canadians game, and this like the one-piece Carhartt.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? Like
Yeah.
the working man suit. So this guy comes to the game, and the Canadians fans are in town because they travel well. He put the jersey over his one-piece Carhartt, And this guy's like, yeah, show my Subians, sacre bleu, whatever. He's like talking about like Canada or whatever. This guy has 2 beers, literally, and he's like red in the face. He was working all day. He goes, yo, this is Philly. You can't be acting like that. And I'll never forget that guy just shut right up. He had his jersey over his Carhartt. This is Philly. You can't be acting like that.
Who did the guy from Philly?
Yeah, the Philly guy.
I always say to your dad, I want to break out the overalls. I want to see that all the time. I'm always asking.
This guy was not having it, man. He was not doing the sacre bleu that day.
Funny as shit.
All right, well,
Let's hear the top spots.
it's got to be the 2000-2001 Sixers because
That's
team.
the only choice left, right?
Well, what'd you pick? All right, it's my turn.
Yeah.
Yeah, order of deduction. That was such a fun freaking season. We started out 10-0 that year, and we were the best team in basketball for much of it. I know we had Kukoc and Theo Ratcliffe, right? Before we traded for Dikembe.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
But we were the best team in basketball, and they made a trade.
They were like 40-4.
Yeah,
Something ridiculous.
40-14, I think.
Something ridiculous.
But they were great, and we got Dikembe up, with the finger wag. And AI, I mean, come on, man.
Great year.
I'm gonna do an honorable mention at the end of this. We're gonna talk about our favorite Philadelphia athletes, but I think you kind of see the foreshadowing there with me. The fact that the Lakers were a stacked team and they were undefeated in the playoffs, loaded, and we took that game 1 right from them in LA.
And
right? In LA.
If you remember, there's the famous kind of image is AI
Eric
stepping
Snow
over.
underhand?
No, AI stepping over
Tyronn Lue.
And just staring him down, just stepping over. And after he hit
he was trying to be Iverson, but he was no Iverson.
Yeah.
Right, he's like, he wanted to hang out with him, be like, hey, Iverson, you want to hang out or something? Yeah. Nope, step right over him. But I remember Eric Snow had like a little jelly roll from the foul line or whatever to seal the deal. So yeah, that might have
been his only basket of the series.
It might have been. But I love the Sixers, man. They stink right now again, which is terrible. Ben Simmons should just be like sent off to pasture. Like not even in the league, just get rid of him from Earth. And I really wanted to see that one that year. Shaq, Kobe, who else was in that?
Yeah, I hated Shaq.
Who was a 3-point guy?
Rick Fox. Robert Horry.
Yeah.
I mean,
that team was stacked.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, that's got to be number 1 for me, just because it's like it was very fun. It was I was 21 at the time, right? So that
18. 18, 19, 2000.
Oh yeah. Sorry, I got my math wrong. But either way,
yeah.
That's got to be the most fun. And Iverson, man, they don't make him like that. It's once in a generation.
It was probably the last time. It was probably the last time I was into the Sixers. Like for real. Like I remember it being a fun season. That's why I was kind of excited to put it on the list.
Yeah. That was fun for me. So yeah.
And my dad, who passed last year, he loved Iverson. He's a good man. He was so old school, my father, that he would love the guys that just gave everything.
Yeah.
And that's one thing Iverson did, was he'd give it all.
Yeah.
No matter, every night. And the thing with practice,
yeah.
I think he's smoking weed at his house. He had a court outside, shooting Jays all day.
Yeah.
I mean, would he have been better? Maybe. If he conditioned, but he played so hard. You got to remember, he played I think he won 4 state championships in high school. So his body had 4 years of abuse from playing football.
We're talking about practice.
I know that, but I'm just saying his body. Larry Brown was always on him. Would he have been better if he practiced more? Maybe. It's a long stretch. It's a grueling season. How many great practices did they have during the regular 82 game season?
We're talking about practice.
We're talking about practice. I know. All right. God rest Phil Jasner's soul. So he's the one who asked him the question. Yeah. All right. So I guess it's my number 1.
Down to you.
Quig's number 1. Let's hear it.
2004. Eagles go to the Super Bowl. It was unbelievable. Everything it was billed. Everything. I mean, Javon Curse was a good pickup. He wasn't what he was when Tennessee, but it just I went to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I literally when you said fun was the first word out of your mouth. I had so much fun. I remember walking down the stands. I sat with
Was it Miami?
It was in
Jacksonville.
Jacksonville.
Oh, Jacksonville. That's right. Yeah.
The accommodations weren't the best, but we had a shitload of fun. And walking out, these Patriots fans were like, you don't hear that T.O., T.O. And I was by myself, and I just out of nowhere, I just
T.O.,
go,
T.O., T.O.,
T.O., T.O. And I would not shut up. I just...
How much of a scumbag did he turn into, though? Doing sit-ups in his freaking driveway in Jersey?
I actually think, he... And you've seen Brady do this. Take a little. You want him as a receiver. He made you a better quarterback. He made the team better. You need him as a receiver. I think McNabb should have bullied him. Said, let's pay the guy. We need him. But they always wanted to toe the line.
Remember how bad all of our receivers were in that Super Bowl run in the early 2000s? Todd Pinkston.
Pinkston did what they wanted. They wanted Pinkston to stretch the field. Thrash was a 3 at Washington. They brought him over and tried to make him like a 2 or a 1. He just...
Even I just read Fred X's
stats. You're making my argument for me, saying that really we should have paid T.O.
I agree.
The guy wanted to get paid. He came out there. He was hurt. He didn't have to play in the Super Bowl.
He had a hyperbaric chamber in his basement.
Yeah, I mean he was all in.
Another thing about that
season was a debacle, but.
That 2014...
The Eagles never covered. Even now, they go out and draft bad wide receivers. We could have Micah Parsons on this team if we took Justin Jefferson the year before. We have no need to have Devontae Smith. Could have Parsons. And we need a stud linebacker.
Hindsight's 2020, but yeah, you're right.
Nah, I mean, Justin Jefferson, anybody, whatever. The Vikings are happy. Now, 2004 was unbelievably fun.
It was. I can't take it from you. It was my number 2, I think, right?
It was just fun. Going to this, I went to the NFC Championship game. I went to that Vikings game, and
manhandled them.
It was a good time. Beat Michael Vick and the Falcons to go to the Super Bowl.
27-10, I think, right?
I think something they covered.
All right. So, what do you think about the list, Bird? Man, I got a couple honorable mentions to wrap us up. But what do you think?
No, I think that's great. Another kind of interesting fact about that 2014, we actually they didn't go, but we had 10 Pro Bowlers. Another thing, Quiggs doesn't have his ears in, so he can't hear me.
Oh, he's picking it up.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, we got a football, too.
Yeah, nice.
We were supposed to play with this, but he just held it.
That was my 04.
But yeah, listen, that 04 season was... That was a good season. I like I said, I remember that first play of the preseason, bomb to T.O., left side, touchdown. And we were at Shukart's house. We were swimming. It was great. All the way through to that Super Bowl, which was certainly disappointing, but overall that was a fun season. I liked honestly, I liked kind of hearing the two of you going back and forth. I think if you take a look at all 4 of these years, I think they were a lot of fun in general. Right, which is, like I said, that's the lens I wanted to go for. So yeah, let's start hearing some of these honorable mentions.
Well, I have a small curveball, but how in the world the cat can join us? It's fine. She's been on the show before.
Yeah, Missy's a big fan of RankEmz.
She is. She's huge. She's our only fan, really. How do you leave off the '93 Phillies, though?
So
wow.
Yeah. I know.
Yeah.
The 2007 Phillies, I felt like you and I had a very specific connection to, personally.
Yeah, plus he wasn't born, right?
You know,
I was 11.
Yeah,
were you 11?
We were 11.
Okay.
So that is one.
Oh, it was my 80. It was my 83 team.
Yeah, that's when my parents would do it in the back of the car making me. Yeah,
but
Impala.
Yeah. So listen, I was gonna have that on. But the personal connection that we had with that Sunday ticket and that final game where the Mets meltdown, I just thought I enjoyed that. I had more fun that season than in '93 necessarily.
I knew you had a reason. That's why I asked.
Yeah.
So.
Like those
I
games,
understand that.
I bought that ball cap. Ah, shit. I still have that same ball cap that I bought that game.
Remember you had the Father's Day hat that you burnt Jim's and you had to give him yours? Or
that was different. That was a later game. That was a later season, I think. I don't think that was 2007.
It was like a Father's Day cap, and you burnt his, and you had to give him yours.
Yep.
That was bad. You burned it right in the campfire.
I actually forgot about '93, and I had a shitload of fun. It was phenomenal.
93, as an 11-year-old, I wasn't watching. It was also, they weren't on my TV all the time. In 2007, they were on the TV all the time. Just like at my house, you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Fucking Joe Carter.
Yeah, that was devastating, but I like 07 better. But tell me I'm a dipshit. Put it in the comments.
You are.
No, it is because you personally connect with it, and it's a precursor to win a World Series.
Yeah.
So you look back at it a little bit differently. The '93 team, I never forget any of it. It was phenomenal.
Just tell him he's a dipshit, please.
Yeah.
I can't say that. I can't. I want to be welcomed back.
He laid it up there for you to spike it down. Christ. All right, so to wrap us up, I want to do something real quick. Lightning round.
All right.
Can I throw in one real? I actually worked one game on the grounds crew in '93.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, I didn't get paid though.
That's a pretty cool
But
story.
we drank at the what's the name? Not Chicken and Peace wasn't there yet. The other bar across the street, Fladium. And during the game, we went back over. Franny Dunn's old stomping grounds.
That's a pretty neat
Yeah,
story.
and he used to be your dad's Cintas guy. He got canned. All right, but he's doing well.
The story can't get any
All
better.
right, yeah, exactly.
All right, cool story. So real quick, I'm going to go down just a quick lightning round. Favorite Philadelphia sports player of the 4 major sports? I'll do mine first.
Of just one out of all 4 sports?
Yeah, real quick.
Yep. Go for it.
This is easy for me.
I can go 2. It's easy for me.
Dawkins, Utley, Lindros, Iverson.
Oh, I thought I just had to give one.
No, that's what I said. Yeah.
No, one of each sport.
Okay.
And then maybe we can rank our top of all the 4, but rank one of each sport.
All right. So the Flyers.
Dawkins, Utley, Lindros, Iverson.
Flyers for me is definitely Lindros. The Phillies is probably Cole Hamels.
All right. Sort of. He's kind of a peckerhead, but yeah, I love the guy.
Yeah. The Eagles is BDN Big Dick Nick. And
Wow.
he's the only one that brought us a Super Bowl. Until someone else does that, he gets it. Like the way he ended that season. And the Sixers, it's got to be AI, but I'm not a huge Sixers fan, so that's just kind of the default answer.
Embiid's getting close, but it's still Iverson for me.
Yep.
What do you got?
The Sixers is so hard for me, but
I never watched Dr. J or anything, you know what I mean? So Iverson was right in the mind.
yeah, it's Dr. J. I mean, if I can give a 1A, Moses Malone, because he
he's a bad dude.
yeah, it was great, phenomenal. The Flyers, I guess.
Pelly Lindbergh.
I was gonna say I'm gonna say Bob Clark just because of that era, and I was young, and
That's fair.
he played his balls off, and he wasn't that good really. He was sort of like something I would do. I'd go in and start trouble, give guys cheap shots with like clips, and then Dave Schultz and Bob Kelly would beat the shit out of the dudes if they
Fair
picked
answer.
on him. Yeah.
Well, I think the one thing that resonates through all this, you said it earlier, your dad loved a hard player. Those 4 guys I just listed all played their fucking balls off.
Yeah,
like we talked about, right?
Yeah.
Like Utley would just take pitches.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Utley was phenomenal. We should have really traded him when he had a high value, because sooner or later it was going to start to sink, and you had to rebuild, but nobody wanted to do it. It was, whatever. Well, that's for another day.
Yeah.
Phillies, I'd have to say Jimmy Rollins. As much as I love some old school guys, he's a guy that I used to say to people, because I'm a person who likes defensive players. I said, wait till we have an average or a subpar shortstop.
Yeah.
He would get so much. He was defensively, he was phenomenal. He really was. He just
Gold glove most years, right?
Yeah. I don't know how many he had. Birdman probably knows.
No, I don't have that handy.
Yeah.
Birdman Googles this shit. Don't act like he's a pro.
And where he came from California, like a little guy.
Oakland.
He was Oakland, exactly. And you saw, if you ever see some minor league when he was playing a pee-wee, like real small kid sandlot ball, he was a little guy, and he just came. It's tough for me, but Jimmy Rollins, I just appreciate his great defense, and they did win a World Series. So what do I have left? The Eagles.
Eagles, yep.
Yeah, as much as I like to say this guy or that guy, Wilbert Montgomery stands out, and it's for one reason. He had a 43-yard or a 46-yard touchdown run against the Cowboys, like their first or second drive, and you knew we were going to the Super Bowl in 1980. That was the Eagles Super Bowl. they got their ass kicked against the Raiders.
20-7, yeah.
Yeah, so they just dominated Dallas, and nobody thought they were going to beat them, but they did. So Montgomery was phenomenal too. The little guy, Abilene Christian, and just I loved them.
Good list. Good list.
Charles Barkley didn't get any love on this one, but I love that knuckle hit.
Yeah. He absolutely.
And Reggie White. I mean, let's be serious. But we could spend all day on this, so we'll move on. So
another kind of controversial one, just to throw in there. As a kid, as an 11-year-old, I did love me some Lenny Dykstra.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I know he's a complete pile of shit now, but and you know they were on the juice and they were taking all kind of shit, but he was fun in that '93 team.
Nails.
Yeah.
You can't hate Nails.
Yeah, he helped Mets in '86 win the World Series.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was. I love him too.
Randall Cunningham. List goes on and on.
Yep.
All right. Well, I think this was a good episode. How do you guys feel?
RankEmz.
Rank them.
Yeah.
We just ranked them.
Yeah.
All right, Birdman, why don't you wrap us up on another successful, what was it? We said number 18.
Number 18. So, yeah, I just want to thank Quiggs for joining us. I appreciate all the insights on these four different teams.
It's a Delco GOAT.
Yeah. Quiggs will definitely be back for sure. So everyone out there that liked this episode, please subscribe to the channel, follow all of our content, and make sure you kind of hit the thumbs up for us. Thanks for joining us on RankEmz this week. We look forward to being back next week and every Monday with a new list to RankEmz. Follow us on all social media apps at RankEmz Podcast. We're on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, and the Snapchats. Like I said, please smash that like button and subscribe to our YouTube channel. All links will be listed below by our producer and engineer, Smitty. Thanks for all the work that he does on the back end. Thank you all again for listening. We'll be back again next week. Thanks, Quiggs. Thanks, Wheels.
You didn't know you were going to be famous, did you?
Thank you, Birdman.
All right, Birdman. Enjoy yourself.
Till next time.